And I think about the example they set where, let's say my dad, every single day after work, the first thing he did was retreat down in the basement and start deadlifting and benching and squatting. My mom is spending time, whether it's at the grocery store, preparing healthy meals for us instead of doing takeout. And I don't look back now as their child with resentment, like, why didn't he immediately play with me when he got home? Or why did my mom just order takeout? Now I mirror their habits that they do at this point. And as a result, they're both in a really healthy, good place where, again, you and I were talking beforehand of, I'm so appreciative now. There is nothing my parents, and I say this proudly, there's nothing my parents cannot do because of their current health. I could say, Mom, do you want to hike for 10 miles? Sure. Dad, do you want to bench 225 for reps? Sure, they can do that. So I look at it from, and again, it's tough because I'm a non-parent. When I say like, oh, set a good example, it's like, shut up, Sam, you don't have kids, you don't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I experienced it firsthand for my parents putting themselves first in a healthy way that now sets the example that I mirror. And I'm so grateful now later in life where everything is on the table activity wise for us to do. Everything is reasonable. And I see you do that with your kids now, which I absolutely love. So tell me a little bit more about how you actually like run a healthy household. Like so many parents will obviously say, oh, my kid won't eat that. My kid's not interested in that. How do you set that example? How do you do it in a way that's not forcing it down your kids' throats? Because my parents certainly didn't, and it worked well. And I know you don't. So tell me more about what that looks like.
Yeah. So first of all, I love what you're describing about your parents. That gets me so excited to continue doing what I'm doing. And hopefully other people hear that and do the same. Someone's going to teach your kids. If you're not going to teach them, someone's going to teach them. Your kids are going to learn habits somewhere. They're going to learn it at school. They're going to learn it watching TV. They're going to learn it watching YouTube. They're going to learn it from the news. They're going to learn it somewhere. So my opinion is I want to teach my kids. I want to teach my kids right and wrong. I want to teach them how to be good human beings. I want to teach them how to live healthy lives so that they don't have to worry about everything that's going on in our world right now. And the only way, in my opinion, to do that is to show them. Like, you got a lot of parents listening right now. My kids roll their eyes at me when I ask them to do something, right? Like you get the same response. Like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, 1 second, Dad. You know, my daughter tells me 1 second. 1 second. 14 minutes later, I've asked her another 16 times. So you could tell them what to do, or you could show them what to do. You could tell them what to eat, or you could show them what to eat. Right? You could tell them that they need to get off their device and go find their friends and play, or you could show them that you're not on your device and that you're exercising and that you're moving around. You could, show them what a great relationship with the opposite or same sex, whatever it is, your partner is, can be like, right? I want my daughter to look at the way my wife and I are affectionate with each other and say, I want that. I want this in a man. I want my son to look at me and say, this is how I want to treat a woman. How you do it so that they ultimately stick to it, that's the hard part. And, I said earlier that my superpower is showing up. You better be prepared to show up on a daily basis. And you think your personal transformation is going to take a long time? This is going to take longer. Okay. And I think as parents, we oftentimes do what's easy, right? And I'm guilty of all these things. We shove an iPad in our kids' face when we want them to be quiet and we need some time to ourselves. We order them, fast food when, we're on the road and there's nothing else easy to eat. And so if you want your kids to behave a certain way, to develop certain habits, you goddamn better be doing them yourself. And then you better have the patience to stick with it when they tell you to go F yourself the first 77 times that you ask him to do it. My son drinks green juice every morning for now the last 3, maybe 4 years, since he was like 7 or 8, right? He said no to green juice for 2 years, pretty much daily before that. So from 5 to 6, call it. I asked him if he wanted green juice every day. I gave him like instead of a big spoonful, I gave him like a tiny, and that's where we started. I gave him a tiny, if anyone can't see me, I'm making like the little pinchy fingers, tiny little pinch of green juice with just a touch of water. And now he gets a full scoop, And so my daughter, still declines green juice every single day. I ask her if she would like some, maybe not every day, but every few days. I say, hey, want some green juice today? And so she says no over and over again. And every once in a while she tries it. And then she says, Dad, I don't like this. Cool. No problem. Thank you for trying it. Great job. Great job trying. And so for me, you have to hang around the hoop constantly. You have to keep trying. And then you have to take your ego and you have to put it in the closet and lock the damn door, because they don't care about your feelings. They don't care what you want them to do. And they don't care that you're trying hard. Like the first time, I told this story before, the first time I ever, like 6 or 7 years ago, I got a sweet tooth, right? So I'm finding all these like healthier versions of desserts, almond flour cookie, this, like stevia, like instead of sugar. I blow up a couple of different recipes. I finally find one that I'm like, this tastes okay. It tastes pretty good. I was super proud of myself. So excited. Bake whatever. I think it was cookies. Bake the cookies. Put them in front of my kids. They go, Dad, this tastes like dirt. This tastes like absolute shit. I was so butthurt, Sam. I was so hurt, dude. It was like I took such offense. And then I realized, I'm like, they're kids. They're used to like Chips Ahoy. Of course, it's not going to taste the same, And so, can you keep showing up? Can you come back tomorrow with a slightly, less clean recipe that might taste a little bit more like the highly processed version? Can you ease them into the transition? And you have to keep showing up, because they will test you like your kids. Anyone who's listening to this who's a parent knows how much their kid can test them. They will test you endlessly. And if they're going to test you with whether or not they're going to pick up toys or do their laundry or whatever, you better damn believe they're going to test you with whether or not they're going to eat broccoli.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I would say is, most kids, there are at least one or two things that are relatively healthy that they do like, right? So start with fruit. Start with a lot of sweeter fruits, watermelon, pineapple, honeydew, cantaloupe, like the sweet stuff. Maybe they won't eat blueberries yet, right? But like, get them eating fruit. If they eat carrots, feed them carrots. My son just happens to enjoy broccoli. He has a great palate at this point because we put a goddamn lot of work into it. But for a while, we just offered him broccoli all the time. Why fight to get him to eat Brussels sprouts when he'll just eat damn broccoli? Just give him broccoli, right? And so have a set of go-tos. Some parents might say, well, I don't have any. Well, then you got to start somewhere, maybe you do a different version of chicken nuggets, but you bread them a little bit, better yourself or whatever. For the most part, kids will find a couple of things that they like, use those as their go-to, and then use honey to dip things in, ketchup, sauces, like spice things up, because they're going to fight you every way. You got to keep showing up. I got a little long-winded there. The short answer
that's good. That's valuable.
Check your ego at the door and show up every single day.
I'm laughing hearing you say this, Brian, because I think back to my mother's attempt to get me to eat anything green at the table. And I don't know what age, probably extremely young, that she first started trying to get me to eat anything remotely healthy. And I'd reject it every single day. But the next night at dinner, there was something green on my plate. And I was probably in my late teens by the time I said, fine, I'll try it. And again, it took a long time. My mom did not quit. And now I eat much healthier because of it. I look at my dad. I wasn't going down there at 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. He wasn't making me deadlifts with him. But eventually I'm like, let's see what he's up to down there. Let's go figure it out. So it took years. My mom, more so on the nutritional front, my dad with the activity. But I'm like, all right, it's here. I've seen this for now 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 years. I might as well participate in it. So yeah, I think that's interesting. Yeah.
One little hack I just thought of that I didn't mention that I've sort of found over the last year or so. If you ask, like my daughter, perfect example. You ask my daughter if she wants almonds or sliced peppers, right? Raw peppers, red, green, orange, whatever, yellow. She'll answer no to both of those 11 out of 10 times. Okay. You cut up the peppers, you put the almonds in a little bowl or just loose on the table. You leave them on the table. Don't say a damn word. Just leave them on the table. She will pass by. She will look at them. She will grab them and she will eat them. So leave things out that you want them to eat. If you want them to eat more walnuts or almonds or blueberries or watermelon, whatever, leave it out. Okay. How many times have we passed the bowl of mixed nuts and just put our damn hand in it? Right. How many times do we pass that like holiday version of popcorn, the chocolate and the caramel and the cheddar cheese like at the office and go, oh yeah, I'll have some of that. Like what What are you talking about? It's 9:30 in the morning. You're eating cheesy popcorn. So leave the stuff out. We're vulnerable creatures, us human beings. Like leave stuff out that you want them. It might sound like silly to talk about this out loud, but like first of all, it's got to be in the house, right? And then it's got to be available to them. Like make it available, put it out there, And like you said, your dad was just downstairs in the gym. I will purposely just get down on the ground and do a set of five push-ups. Nothing. It's not a workout. It's not even like, I wouldn't even call it like that compound micro movement that I like to do.
When I was a little kid, I'm sorry to interrupt, my dad would have me sit on his back during push-ups. He wouldn't force me to work out. He'd be on here real quick. And I went for a ride.
I know they're watching. They're sponges, right? They're always watching. They're always listening. You curse on the phone and in the other room with your friend, and your kid goes, "I heard that." They're always watching. So why not take advantage and do things strategically when they're watching, and you don't make a big deal about it. You just get down on the ground, you do 5 push-ups, you do a few lunges, you stretch a little bit, you go kiss your wife, you go hug your husband, you go, you do some of these things. You take out a healthy snack, you eat it, and you just go about your business and just put your blinders on and live your life. And oh, by the way, you'll get healthier. Your relationship will improve. You'll get more fit. And sooner or later, they'll figure it out. They'll see that what they're doing, they'll have a moment where they go, oh, the light switch flicks on for all of us at some point. We as parents are in a rush to have our kids be the next NBA superstar. Like we want that for us, not for them. And so we force these things down their throat, and they rebel because they're kids. And so play, just like, we've talked about playing the long game, your parents, and with our clients, play the long game with your kid. My son is he's 11 years old. He's almost 5'7". He's a lefty. He plays baseball. You can do a lot of math right there, right? Like I could have him 6 days a week with some pitching coach and some like crazy athletic, trainer, like grooming him to be the next first round draft pick. Or I could let him be a kid, figure this stuff out. And so there's so many aspects of my son's, personality where I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, look what you have in front of you. Like ex-athlete, 6'6". I'm the fittest dad, I'm a health coach. Like, why aren't you using me? Why aren't you asking me to take you places and do things with you? Like it frustrates the hell out of me. You gotta, it's one day he's going to come to me and go, all right, dad, I'm ready.